Okay, welcome once again to this, and this video I want to show you how you can create and customize your own calculator. Okay, you create and customize your own multiplication calculator. So you tell the users to type in a number that they want to calculate. So if it's the 12 times they want to calculate, you give them the opportunity to type the number they want to calculate and then how many times they want to calculate. That is the limit. So if you want them to the users to calculate from 12 times 1 to 100, your app is going to create or calculate from 12 times 1 all the way to 12 times 100. So that's what we are going to work on today. So stick to this video, right, and then follow along carefully. Going to write that impressive code or program right now. So how do we start? Let's declare our variables right now. So we're going to work with integers. So I have integer, and the first thing we're going to declare is our counter. So it's going to count the number of times. All right, so the counter 1 2 3 all the way to the limit. So they are all integers, so I'm just going to declare them on the same line. So we have the counter, and then we have product of. So the product of like 2 3 4. All right, so that's going to be the 12 by 1 if that is the product. So and then the last, and then another thing is to declare the final answer which we're going to get. So we say answer, so when they have to bring you the final answer. And then what else do I need at the moment? So I have counter, and then I have counter, I have product of, I have the answer. Okay, so I'm left with one more, which is the limit. All right, how long or how many times I want to calculate. So if it is 12 by 1 to 12, that is what. So I have to set the limit. Okay, so then I'll come back to write my while loop. So I'll say while, and here we are counting up to a limit. So we just bring our limit right here, and then we set the how many times, the counter. So we say the counter is less than limit. If the counter is less than the limit that we are looking for, as long as the counter is less than the limit that they will type or users will type, the condition should be met. So we say counter, first we have to count them. Okay, loop override, so counter plus plus, and then finally we have to come and declare our answer. So our answer will be equal to the counter multiplying the product of. So you say the product of. So if it's a product of 2, your counter is going to multiply anytime that there is a loop. And finally we will do a cout to bring out the answer for us. Now you can see there are no values right here, and we want to give the users the opportunity to type their own numbers. So I'm going right here on top to create the prompt for them. So I will say cout, okay, cout, enter your, what are you going to do? Your limits. Okay, so first we start with the product of, enter the product of, the product of. So here you are supposed to type the product, what you want to get. If it is 2 by 1 that you want to calculate, you type it right here, and then you give it a value, you assign it to an input. So you're going to C in, and then what are we getting? Product of. So I've set product of right here. Okay, so this is the first one. We need to now declare another one for the limit. So we're going to see cout, we need to see out a prompt says enter the limit or your limit. Okay, and then we bring it out, we add the C in to the limit. So we are taking the limits. Okay, all right, so this is all that we need to do in order to finish our calculation. So let me end here before I'll come back and add any thing. So this is the logic that we are presenting. So let's run and see. Okay, all right, tried and tested. Okay, so we have the enter the product of, so I want to calculate the product of 2. So I'll type 2 right here and then enter the limit. I want to calculate up to 5. So I'll just type 5. And then you see I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 4, 2, 6, like that. So now let me add the other things that I want to add. So see out okay, so I'll just say counter, and these are just additional things to make our code interesting. So just say counter right here, and then I'll say counter, that is 1, and then I'll write here again and say product of, and then I'll bring another one, product of times the counter times counter, so times counter, and then I'll bring my final thing, which is the equal to. So remember the last video we did exactly the same right here. So the counter is just going to count 1, the product of, you know, times counter equals answer. So just run it and see everything works perfectly. So the product of 2, the limit of 5, it says 1, 2 by 1 equals 2, 2 by 2 equals 4, 2 by equals 6, and it continues that way. All right, so let me do a more complex one. So product of 12, and then the limit is 100. Oh, so it's just done that for me, right? So that is a lot of calculations, right? So everything is perfect. If you wrote the code very well, everything is perfect. Now I want to replace this with a pipe to do this. I don't know, just want to create some impressions, you know, right here. So yes, one, this, that. I don't know what they usually use. Could it be this one? Yeah, these are just mere formalities. We're not just adding any logic, just formality too. So say 3. Yeah, so just something to add up to rate. Okay, so this is our multiplication table right here. And then I can write some if statements to make it more complex, to tell the user that this is the end of our line. So I can just come here. Okay, under this I will just write if counter. Okay, if counter equals limit. Okay, if counter equals limit, so if it reaches, we can just say see out end of what, end of table, something like this. Okay, so end of table. So let's see if it works. So I'll just run this, come here, product of 5 by 20, it says end of table, right? So just work that way for us. So when it reaches, just say so 2, 5, and just say end of table. Okay, you can just write some things. So let me just write something here. See out, just formalities, they are not doing anything. So just do see out to create some lines under it before it moves on to this side. So just run product of 3, 5, and oh, it didn't go as planned, right? Let me check this. See out Oh, okay, I need to end right here. I need to end that here, and let me say 3. Okay, so just creating some lines in between them. That is not what I actually want. I think it should rather come into the if statement. So I'm just going to cut it right from here. These are just mere formalities, right? They don't add any logics to the code. I'm just making things look a bit, organized. So just run this. The code is above it, so just run this and see. Yeah, so that is the end of table. Okay, so we have achieved that. That is the end. So I'm calculating 12 by 12, and then it does it and says end of table right for me, right? But you can see that it's after it runs, it just stops somewhere, and then you need to rerun again to check it out. So what I want us to do is to add a true statement to this, and then you can move on. So we say bool running. You can just do while true, but let's set a variable for it. So while bool running, and then we set it to true. Okay, and now we can come and cut this whole thing and then write our while loop and say while, and this time around we are not going to use true, we're just going to say while running. While running, you open this and then paste this right here. So it's a while loop inside of a while loop, and yeah, that's what happens. It happens more times. You'll be writing more code and nested into others. So I'm just going to make sure that they are indented properly. So I'll run it. So with this, even after my calculation, I'll still have opportunity to use my application. So this, all right, end of table, and it's supposed to go. I did not end this one, so I have to end the line right here so that I can have the other things. So let me create another separation right here. So end line, and then need to move on. So just adding some arrangements. Okay, so have end of table. So let's see. So it has ended though, and yeah, I think okay. While running, okay, so while running, I'm just going to bring this into my running program. So while running, it should be here. So while running, we should be asking these questions. So you can decide to leave those there. I've not talked about global variables, but that is what they are doing. I'll just talk about maybe later. So this is something complex, right? Okay, so let's see. Product of 2, 3. So it continues, right? Look, still asking me to type something because you have done with this. So 5, 12, it has ended the calculation and still wants me to type something. So 3, 4, it runs like that. Product of 3, limit 2. What's that? I think it's not moving again. Let me see right here. So 2, okay, 4, 3, product of, I think it runs 2 times, or maybe let me try something here. So that is this just for testing, and product of 1, okay,